Hello and welcome back to our weekly videos at ViviPilates. I'm Kristen here with Viviana, and today Viviana requested that I show her some hip releases using the Rollology roller. She was running this morning and her hips are a little tight, so today I'm going to show her just part of the series. So these are not necessarily exercises in the series, but little releases that we do in between. So we're going to look at 3 releases today. So I'm going to have her go ahead and lie down on her back. Now she's going to place the roller right underneath her knees with her feet down, knees bent. And then she's going to go ahead and lift her hips up. So walk your feet even a little closer to you. Take your fingers on the roller, lift your hips up and pull the roller underneath you. Make sure it comes right under your 2 hip points in the back, so it's right at the top of your pelvis, but not actually on your low back. So that looks pretty good there. So now take your hands to the very ends of the roller. So now her chest and shoulders are nice and open here. She's checking in, making sure she has a little space under her neck. Her neck is not flat, so she's looking right up to the ceiling. So from here, go ahead and pick your right leg up to a tabletop position. Pick your left leg up to meet it. And then lift both legs in the air. So we're just going to take a moment here, and she's going to point and flex her feet a few times just to kind of loosen up her legs a bit. So even though you can't see her feet, she's pointing and flexing at the ceiling. Very good. And then she's going to open her legs out to the side. We call this the straddle stretch, and then she'll do the same thing. So she's going to point and flex her feet. She has her legs in the 3 and 9 position. We always refer to the clock in Rollology. And then I'll have her bring her legs back together at the ceiling, and then go ahead and bend your knees into a tabletop. Okay, so this first release that we're going to do is called knee dips. So she's going to make sure her knees are directly over top of the roller. Her feet and knees are all the way together here. She's going to work to keep both shoulders back to the mat. We say cemented to the mat. And she's going to start to dip her knees over to the left side of the roller, which we call the 3 o'clock, only as far as she keeps both shoulders down. And then she comes back through the center, and she dips her knees to the 9 o'clock, or the right side of the roller, and then back to the center. And then again over to the 3 o'clock left, and back to the center, and to the 9 o'clock right, and center. She's going to do this a few more times, and she wants to make sure that she keeps her tailbone reaching just a little bit forward. So she doesn't want to tuck her tailbone under, which would cause the roller to slide out, and she wants to get more of that center line of her pelvis on the roller to release it, rolling back and forth. And she's going to come back in the center. So then the next release that we're going to do is called Tailor Stretch. So it kind of looks like a figure 4 stretch. I'm going to have her cross her left ankle over her right knee. She's going to make sure the right foot is down in line with her knee. Both feet are flexed, so she's pulling her pinky toes back, still keeping a little reach of her tailbone forward and still keeping both shoulders cemented. She's going to come again to the 3 o'clock left side of the roller, and then back to the center, and then over to the 9 o'clock side of the roller, and back to center. And she's going to keep going a few more times, maybe 4 times total each direction. So this is also a great release if you have sciatic pain, and it helps loosen up the back of the hips here, especially around the SI joint. Helps break up toxins and loosen up the myofascia. We're going to pause in the center. So then the final release that we're going to do is called tailbone stretch, and it helps traction the low spine and help open up that back of your hips. So we're going to lift the legs up to the ceiling. Flex your feet, even though you can't fully see her feet here. Separate them hip distance apart. She's going to imagine that she's sticking her feet on the ceiling, a certain spot on the ceiling, and her feet are not going to come away from there. So she's going to put her hands on the roller close to her hips, and she's slowly going to push the roller out from underneath her, letting her tailbone drag along the roller all the way down without letting her feet leave the ceiling. Once her hips are fully down, she's going to bend her knees, and we usually do this 2 times. So she'll put her feet down, lift hips up again, pull the roller underneath. Good, right at the top of the pelvis. Bring one leg up at a time. Yes. And then both legs up to the ceiling. Flexing the feet, stick them on the ceiling, they're hip distance apart. Slowly she pushes the roller out, letting her tailbone traction along the roller. All the way down. Once her hips are down, she bends her knees, she puts her feet down, and she's all done. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are ready for you to come back to the studio, and we are online if you feel like you want to stay online too. So please tune in next week for our next video, and we hope to see you soon.